We can really cause ourselves a lot of problems in the moments that feel urgent. Like when you do something or say something that you regret, maybe you scream at your child or your husband, or you say yes to something that you don't want to do, or you storm out of the room in a raging panic. And later you wonder what came over me, because that sense of urgency feels it's pressing. It feels true, even when it isn't. Most people assume that when something feels intense, it needs action now. That if it feels urgent, it must be important. But sometimes the opposite is true. What if the moments that feel most urgent are the moments you should trust the least? When we have a lot on our minds, we can create pressure that feels like clarity, like you have to do something or say something now. And in this video, I'm going to show you why urgency can be misleading and how to recognize the difference between that pressure and real wisdom. My name's Wendy, and I've coached many people toward more peace, clarity, more happiness. This is the work that I'm jazzed to be doing every day. All right, let's break this down. You already know this feeling of urgency. I need to respond now. I need to fix this now. I need to say something now. It almost feels like waiting could be dangerous. So you act, you do something, you react. And later, once that feeling of urgency passes, you find yourself second guessing what you did or what you said, or judging yourself or the other person for your choices. And maybe you even realize it wasn't such a great idea. Now, I'm not talking about the sense of urgency that comes to you when you see a child about to run out in traffic. That urgency, that instinct to save the child, is different. I'm speaking about when you get that sense of urgency that doesn't feel good. It feels like pressure. That's a signal to you. My feelings are off. I don't feel good. And maybe to take a step back, to slow down, to let your mind settle before you do or say anything at all. So, if urgency can hinder the choices that you make, okay, where does that feeling actually come from? Urgency feels like it comes from out there, from an unanswered message or a deadline or an uncertain outcome. It comes and it arrives like with such conviction that we rarely stop to question it. But here's what's happening. We are always living in the feeling of our thinking, not the feeling of our circumstances. Thought is the creative power behind every experience we have, including the experience of something feeling urgent. So the situation isn't generating the pressure, our thought is. And consciousness, like awareness, is making it feel completely real. This is why the same email can feel threatening on one day and like completely unremarkable on another. Like the words in the email can be exactly the same, but our thinking in that moment creates the experience we're having about reading that email. Now, the invitation here isn't to manage your thinking or reframe your thinking or change it. It's not to monitor your state of mind or apply any technique. It's simply to see this, because insight is what will come when we see. And the moment you recognize that urgency is thought created, not delivered to us by something out in the world or circumstance, something quiets and you don't have to do anything. Your innate clarity is always there underneath any insecure or pressured or urgent thinking. Well-being isn't something that, you need to work at. It's something you return to. It's what's left when you stop mistaking our thought for truth and we let our mind settle and our thoughts settle, and something new and fresh will come up. But I know urgency can feel so convincing in the moment. It really can feel like you've got to do something. So I'd like to show you something. Imagine waking up and seeing a message that says, "We need to talk." Now imagine reading that same message after a night of stress and poor sleep and you have lots on your mind. We need to talk. So how does it feel? It feels heavier, maybe threatening, maybe urgent. Now imagine reading the exact same message after you've had a peaceful morning. Maybe you had a coffee, a nice chat with your partner, your mind feels clearer. We need to talk. Same words, but now it could mean anything. Maybe it's a plan they'd like to talk about, or just have a conversation, or something small. And that message doesn't create the same urgency. Your state of mind create your experience in the moment. So, same message, different state of mind, different reality. And once you see that, something important becomes a little bit more obvious. Think about something that at one time felt really, really urgent and important, and now mean almost nothing. Could be anything. You could have been laid off from a job, and now you're working somewhere that you like even more. It doesn't mean anything anymore. What changed? Your state of mind. When it felt really urgent and important, your state of mind and the thoughts that you were having and the meaning about the thoughts and the thoughts on top of thoughts were creating this sense of urgency that maybe you'd never find another job again. And now everything's good. Your state of mind is clearer, and that once what seemed to be so urgent and so problematic doesn't feel that way anymore. Many problems shrink the moment our minds get quieter. We have insights. We see something new and fresh that we've never considered before. And if you enjoy these kinds of insights, I share a couple each week in my newsletter, Ahas in Action. It's a 5-minute read, and I'll leave a link for it below. And some things really do need action. So how do you know the difference? Urgency feels fast, tight, pressured, constrictive. Clarity feels calm, expansive, simple, clearer. Urgency screams. Clarity doesn't need to. Urgency tries to push you. Clarity quietly shows you. So what do you do when urgency hits before clarity does? When you feel emotionally activated, maybe pause, breathe, notice, take a walk, sleep on it. Give your mind time to reset. It will naturally reset. You don't need to act immediately to be a responsible human being. Sometimes waiting is the wisest move that you can make. And when you begin living this way, something deeper changes. Well, it has for me, anyways. You stop fearing your moods. You stop trusting that urgent feeling, that panic. You stop making permanent decisions in temporary storms. and something powerful grows: self-trust, self-love, because you realize you were never impulsive by nature. You're just trying to make decisions from unsettled states of mind, the mind that's in a rush. And the mind in a rush is rarely the mind to trust. In this next video, I share how easy it is for people to miss the moment that a relationship begins to end because we're looking for conflict, not the quiet that comes before it. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you next time.